I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and this is the Hellblade Senuas Sacrifice Virtual Reality Review. Now, where to begin with Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice? It's a long name. The game is available in both pancake or flat and the virtual reality mode. I'm only going to review the VR mode. I installed the 2D mode, tried a little bit, and it's a good looking game, but we're not a 2D channel, we are a virtual reality channel. So onto it. You play Senua, the main character in the game, and super long story short, the love of your life is dead and may in fact be in a bag on your, like his head may be in a bag on your belt, and you have gone to hell to save his soul is the gist. Now, something that really stands out in this game, beyond the visuals, are the kind of schizophrenic voices that you hear in your head all the time. So even in a flat version, this game is recommended to be played with headphones because everything is very directional. And even right off the bat, now as a heads up, I like to not show any video footage of a game deep into the game. So whenever you see video footage in our reviews, we always do our best to, first off, stay away from spoilers, but secondly, we don't want to show you too much of what's involved. Sometimes little snippets, but we never want to spoil any surprises. So all the video will be safe to watch. Back to the voices in your head. For example, when Senua is rowing up in the very beginning, before you even have control of her, you're hearing all these different voices arguing back and forth and talking to her, saying things like, she doesn't see that, what's she doing? She needs to turn around, she's never going to survive, all this sort of stuff. And at first I was like, this is kind of distracting, but I'm not going to say they become your friends, but they do actually become helpful, because in a fight sometimes one of the voices will say, look out behind you. It's the weirdest thing that I've experienced in VR, and one descriptive that I would use for this game more than anything else is haunting. They captured her face and her eyes incredibly well, and there are moments, even in the very beginning, where she turns around and looks at you, and I actually felt empathy towards the character that I was controlling. A lot of games try this, and I have never played a VR game that has connected me to the main character as much as Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice has. Without spoiling, there's one point, what the game does is you're controlling Senua from a third-person perspective. You're kind of sitting behind her. And this game is controlled exclusively with a gamepad, is the primary control method. You can look around, you've got a recenter button, and it's typical, you move around, you've got different puzzles you have to solve, you've got combat that you have to go through, climbing ladders, trying to figure out what to do, but every once in a while it'll go all cinematic, and when it goes cinematic, what it'll do is it'll pull you back, and the cinematics happen around, and I think part of that is to prevent you from getting motion sick. The second part is it makes you feel like you're inside of her head and not so much just watching from behind her. And again, the voices don't usually stop, and right in the very beginning, like I said, there was one point where she turned and she looked at me and she begged me. She said whatever, like she would do whatever, and I honestly, her eyes, I couldn't believe how well that was done. Now, I'm trying not to show the fact that this game is going to get a good score, because it is. This game blew me away in a way that I have never experienced emotion in VR before. Let's see, what am I forgetting? Vive, Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, VR across the board. This is good to go. It is not room scale. This is sitting, and I already mentioned that it's controller based. So I'm going to get to the actual review of Hellblade Senua's Tale. Now, the first negative is the name is too long. That's the negative I'm going to throw out there. But the positives are numerous in this game. Like I said, the visuals look really good. The way that they capture the eyes, this game uses full motion video in sections, but because it's full motion video of someone that's not with you, like for example, it'll be the love of her life, right? So dude's standing there and he's kind of floating, and it makes sense, and the full motion video just feels it just feels right. And I don't ever say that about full motion video. That stuff doesn't belong in games anymore. If you're past the DOS-based Mad Dog McCree era, then stay away from FMV. Here, they pulled it off really well. I have to say, like, the graphics look good, but the face, how they captured her face, made all the difference in the world. So, developers, if you are looking to connect to somebody, like, emotionally, this is a fantastic example of that. If you're just looking for a hack and slash, Hellblade is not what you're looking for. I don't love games that are super heavy on puzzles. I'm okay with it. As long as they keep it interesting, it's fine. There are a lot of games that I do like that use puzzles, but when a puzzle is the primary mechanic of a game, I tend to get tired of it after a little while. With Hellblade, because the story kept driving me forward, because I honestly wanted to help, there are times when she gets knocked over and you are like, get up, and you're pressing your buttons trying to figure out what you can do to help her. The world feels so heavy on her. And Ninja Theory, the guys that did this, did such a good job of portraying that. I should say that I have not played this game to completion. I've put about 4 hours in. Now, I usually try to play right till the end when I can to do a review. In this case, the only way I'm going to do that is by pushing myself hard, and I really want to enjoy it. And honestly, if I play this game for like more than 45 minutes at a time, I start feeling a little motion sick. And the game straight out tells you that don't play this for more than a half hour at a time, take a 5-minute break. The problem is I get so wrapped up in it that I just want to see what's coming next. And that is so refreshing in VR. Now I think this works out to about $33, $34 Canadian. And at that price point, I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5. So that is a glowing review for me. I'm usually pretty tough. There's something about this that makes me want to go back, and I will. I've got other stuff I still have to review, but I will absolutely be going back. Now, if this game falls apart at the end, I apologize. If at the very end, the final boss fight is garbage and everything goes south, again, I apologize, but everything leading up to here is interesting. And a bit of a con I'm going to list is the fact that in the beginning, it feels like you're kind of just following her, and everything feels very linear, and everything feels like I'm watching an audiobook more than anything else. But that goes away. If you stick with this for like half an hour, that goes away. And the combat starts off feeling kind of and that gets better and better and better as well. And when you realize how you can combo up, you'll use all your buttons. You've got your light attack, your hard attack, you've got your block, you've got dodge, you've got, like, it's actually a proficient combat game as well. So bravo. I honestly have almost nothing but good things to say. The only other con I'm gonna say is there was one point where I beat like a boss, and when I went to leave and get back to where I needed to go to, I couldn't. Doors were all closed, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out what I was doing wrong until I realized that it was just a glitch in the game. I had to turn it off, turn it back on, and the doors were open that needed to be open. So the odd glitch here and there, that only happened to me one time. There were a couple puzzles that really frustrated me, but again, I pushed through and I figured them out, and I felt really good about it afterwards. I like it. It's a great game. Subscribe if you want to see more of our stuff. We love hearing from you, so comment, like. If there's something you want to see, let us know. I look through every single one of the comments, and I always try to reply. Thank you again so much for watching another Barefoot review, and I will talk to you again real soon. See ya.